Hi everyone, this is Art Smalley, President of Art of Lean Incorporated. And on behalf of the Lean Enterprise Institute, I have another short video clip for you. This one is a follow-up to the video I did last time called ECRS, which stands for Eliminate, Combine, Rearrange, and Simplify. And this time, instead of just explaining the concepts verbally, I want to do some pictures and examples that I hope will help lock it home in your memory banks so you can apply this at home, at work, or wherever you choose to apply it. Stick around, I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's dive into the E for elimination part of ECRS. The roots of this, as I mentioned in the previous video, come from the TWI Job Methods course and the concept of eliminating unnecessary details. That was a phrase they coined and used in the book, and they had specific types and examples. And eventually in Toyota this morphed into the concept of elimination of waste and the 7 types of waste. But it doesn't end just there. In standardized work, for example, Toyota wanted you to be able to think critically about your job and break it down into detail. And of course, the obvious examples are in production. I'll show a picture here, the lady doing some work, and they wanted you able to be thinking about your job as you did it, reflect over time, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and say, hey, what can we do better here? What's easier for me? What's better for the customer in the long run? What eliminates waste? What adds value? And anytime you analyze stuff, like standardized work, for example, you get to the 1 second, 1 step, 1 motion level of detail, you're going to find things. The more details you look at, the more you're likely to find. And this was part of the combination that went in Toyota of respect for people and continuous improvement can be done simultaneously. Now, that's not the only way to think about it. You don't have to box yourself into that type or rigid of an example. Any job you do in life, whether it's writing purchase orders, being cashier, working as a nurse, a doctor, lawyer, you've got steps, you've got procedures, you've got actions you follow. And if you reflect on them and look at them in detail, you're going to find areas for improvement. And the first angle with the ECRS framework is to say, what can I subtract? What is difficult? What does not add value? How can I take that out of the equation and make it easier and better? Okay? That's the E concept for ECRS, eliminate. Okay, let's move forward onto the C part of ECRS, which stands for combine or combination. And very often you can get a tremendous improvement by combining things and getting a 2-for-1 type of result. And you see a lot of this in the world when you stop and look for it. Opportunities abound. For example, I moved recently and I had to order some packaging materials and things on Amazon to facilitate with the move. And I ordered 4 bags, long bags, about 3 feet long, in order to pack things in that were not standard size. And I wound up getting 4. And I expected to get 4 in one box from Amazon, but what I got were 4 of these suitcase type packages, but I also got 4 boxes and 4 levels of padding and packing that I didn't want. And each of the boxes was 80% air. So I know Amazon knows better than this, but people don't always execute correctly, no offense. And what should have been caught or realized or thought about is, gee, I can pack 4 of these suitcase type objects into one box, combine 4 into one, and have a lot better outcome for the organization as well as the end user myself. Now, fortunately, I did use the boxes for packaging as well, and I wound up using them in another sense by giving them to another person after I moved. So I got my use out of them, but combining could have been a better solution in the first step. That's one example. Okay, combination example number 2. Gonna drill a hole in this board, 1/8 inch, and then countersink it in a 2-step process. So step 1, drill the hole. All right, should see there, I drilled a hole, but now customer requires a countersink to that face because a screw is going to go into it. So you have to change the bit and drill that hole. Okay. Step 2, run the countersink. Now, I'm not sure you can see it on this or not, but there's a little countersink or recess that's been cut so a screw will sit flatter into that little concave surface we created. Okay? Now, there's nothing at all wrong with that, but it was a two-step process. And in the spirit of combine, we can put two steps into one by using a more advanced tool. This tool actually has the drilling apparatus and the countersink apparatus, so that as you drill, you will create the counter step in a 2-for-1. So this time we'll drill it, 2 steps in 1. So this time we got the same end result. The hole, the countersink, 2 steps in 1, took seconds, and I eliminated a bunch of unnecessary work in addition to combining 2 steps at once. So this was really a double win in that sense. So a good example of combining things in a way that allows you to eliminate unnecessary steps, motions, details, and gets you a better end result, easier for me, value add, meeting the customer requirements. Hope that makes sense. Let's move on to R and the concept of rearrangement or rearranging things for improvement. Here's a simple example. I got to move into my new office and I got to set it up the way I like. I rearranged the office, which was better for me. I also got to build some better bookshelves and I got to rearrange the books on the shelves for me the way I've wanted to for decades. Put them into one place and have them by category. By building my own, they were strong enough to support everything and I could put them all in one place for better visual control for me. I think it's a unique case where I'm both customer and employee. Another example, though, of rearrangement, you can think of micro and macro levels for this aspect, in all seriousness. Standardized work, time and motion studies, motion analysis, the third leg symbols, things like that. They are looking at motion on a micro level and just asking you to think about any sequence of events and how can you rearrange that so it's more optimal for the series of tasks or work that you're performing. Flow charting is another thing on another level, okay? And a bigger level than that, value stream mapping across an enterprise. What are you doing? You're seeking to rearrange and optimize things. Oh, and by the way, eliminate and combine a few things while you're at it to get a better total solution for value flowing through an entire chain of events. So lots of good examples come along with rearrange. I'm sure you can think of them in your daily life, in your personal workspace as well. And last but not least, is the S part of the framework of ECRS, which stands for simplification. This is actually a very old topic. You can easily trace this back history over 100 years. All you have to do is Google the term and you'll see lots of interesting literature behind it in the original time and motion studies and people doing industrial engineering. And a man who capitalized upon that and became known as the father of work simplification is a man named Alan Mogensen. And he not only popularized flowcharts, but he was known as the father of workplace simplification. He had books, lectures, and training, and conferences, and popularized the term in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And many people have gone on and copied his work and developed it and taken it further to other levels, which is great, which is I'm sure what he would want, or any author or a consultant hopes that the next generation will take it and make it better. But I want you to always think that no matter how hard the task is, if you can't eliminate, combine, or rearrange things, you can always study things at the detail level, the difficulty level, and say, what do I do to just simplify this and make it easier to do? Because that always nets you a better result in the long run as well. Okay, so there it is, the framework, ECRS, eliminate, combine, rearrange, simplify. I hope that I locked it in better with some examples and a little bit of history to lock it in your mind. And by no means is it a perfect, what we call MECE framework, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. There is a little bit of overlap when you think about it. And of course, there are other things you can throw in there like substitute, standardize, synchronize, automate, and knock yourself dead. Go make it the 8-letter framework. But it's a powerful tool. I like to think about it in any situation at first glance when I see something and I think, okay, what can we do to help the situation by teaching the elimination, combination, rearrange, and simplification angle so people can come up with a better solution. Hope they found that interesting and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.